everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a fantabulous day full of fantabulous things in it as always. And for today's video, I am super excited about today's video. Now, I had another video in mind, but I've decided to put that on the back burner because I came up with this morning, and I hope you guys enjoyed this too. It's for your entertainment, and I hope that you guys really enjoy it too, because I think I'm going to enjoy this as well. But for those who do not know, the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta came out. Now, I have not been able to get my hands on it because the first time ever I've bought it on PC. I've always bought it on console. This is the first time that I'm buying it on PC. So for those of you who do not know, console players, particularly PlayStation players, were able to get their hands on it close to 2 weeks ago, and now the Xbox and PC players can get their hands on it now. Yesterday was the very first day for it. So I decided to do something a little different here. I've never done this before, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I think I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to give you a pros and cons. My first reaction of my first 24 hours on the Call of Duty beta. Okay, so let's just call this part one. Let's just call this part one. This is part one of the Call of Duty reaction to the beta, basically. I'm going to give you a list of pros and cons. Right now, the pros outweigh the cons. However, we're going to see if that holds up, because I'm going to do a video after the Call of Duty beta is over with and give you pros and cons, and we're going to see if they line up with this 24 hours of playing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. Now, I just started playing this, and now look, before I get into this, let's get something out of the way. This is a beta. Let's get this out of the way. This is a beta. It's not perfect, okay? It's not perfect. However, it's probably the best betas that they've given to us in a long time. We'll get into that in a minute. But it is a beta, so there is going to be freezing and dropping out of the server. There is going to be glitches. You will be going through the floor sometimes. That has happened to me. And it has frozen on me a few times, and the server has dropped me. And it's been laggy a few times. There has been, again, this is a beta. It is not going to be perfect. And hopefully by when the game comes out, I believe it's October 28th. When it comes out, hopefully by then, it will actually be, will have fixed those things. Now, of course, with the history of Call of Duty, they haven't always. But this time, for sure, I feel like they are really working on stuff. And we'll get into that in a minute as well. But let's just get that out of the way. And by the way, we're not going to get into the hacking either today. Yes, there is hacking in it. Yes, the beta hasn't been out that long. And there is hacking that you can get for free now. Yes, there is. I know Activision said that they were going to up the anti-cheat stuff. I have a feeling that it is just like the beta. Again, this is a beta, so it's not going to be perfect. Now look, hacking comes with Call of Duty, so if you're looking for any of that on the con list, it's not there, okay? Because these things are I expected them to be there when I came into the beta. So anyway, how about let's go ahead and get going. How about we start off with some pros? All right, let's start off with the pros. And again, like I said, the pros actually do outweigh the cons, which is a good thing. For right now, we will see at the end of the whole entire beta. In the next video that you see of this, we'll see if this holds up. But there are more pros than cons, so let's start off with the pros. Okay, so the first pro let's talk about is the movement. Now, this, I know, is controversial. Not everybody likes the movement, and I get it. Because is it crisp? Not necessarily, but if you are an old timer to Call of Duty like moi, you are used to this type of movement. Now, I will say that my games last night, because I was playing with a friend of mine, Pedro. Hi, Pedro, if you watch this. My games were inconsistent because there are times when I want to slide cancel, and there basically isn't slide canceling in there. We'll get into that in a minute. But basically there isn't. So there are, and look, there's we'll just get into that in a minute. That's a whole nother conversation in a minute. But anyway, there basically isn't slide canceling in there. So there were times when I wanted to slide cancel and I would get killed because it's what I'm used to. The past 3 Call of Duties, the movement has basically evolved into slide canceling and things like that. It is different now. It's basically not there. Again, we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, so the movement is different. However, I like it. I like it. We were asking for a change, and Call of Duty gave it to us. And I actually like it because I feel like I could run 1,000,000 miles an hour in this game, and I absolutely love that. There were times in past Call of Duties where I felt like I was going very slow. Very slow. And a lot of people, by the way, are comparing the movement to Modern Warfare, the one that came out in 2019. And these two are going to get compared, but we have to remember, basically, even though the story is basically a continuation of that story, it is totally and completely different. There are 2 totally different games. All right, they are. So the movement is going to be different. This is basically what they've given us, and by just playing it after the 24 hours, this is basically a reboot of Call of Duty all the way around. It is. And we've been asking for it, and they gave it to us. So I'm actually liking it. I know not everybody is, but I'm liking it. So that is one pro. Another pro is the gunsmith. Again, this is met with a lot of controversy. However, I like it. I like it because it cuts out the middleman, and we do not have to grind for parts. Once you get used to it, I guarantee you're going to like it because it does cut out the middleman of grinding for parts to add onto your gun. Now, attachments to add onto your gun. Now, there are certain attachments for each gun that you will have to earn. Some of them, I did a whole video on this. Basically, you have a family of guns. I'll put it in the description below. Basically, you have a family of guns, and there's an attachment called the receiver. And once you level up the gun to a certain level, and earn a receiver, it will give you another gun. Basically, for instance, I started off with the M4. After leveling up that gun to about level 4, it gave me the receiver attachment, and I was able to earn the M16. So you guys kind of get the picture. Again, I did a whole video on the gunsmith system. I'll put it again in the description below. But I like it. Now, this does get me very interested, though, how they're going to work the camos. I don't know how they're going to work the camos because I just don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it now. I'm very interested in knowing because basically the new gunsmith, the new loadout way of doing things is totally different. So I'm very interested to see what the camo grinding is going to look like. I'm very interested in seeing. And I will say this, Call of Duty, they said in the Call of Duty Next that they want Call of Duty to be fun for everyone. And basically by just playing this for 24 hours, this is for everyone. This is for the casual players. And I do think, though, there is a little bit of skill-based stuff in here for us who have been around for a while, but this definitely does cater to about an everyone audience that it plays Call of Duty. But anyway, that is one pro. Here is another pro, and that is the sheer size of this beta. I cannot get over how big this beta is. They basically almost gave us the full thing of multiplayer. Not quite, but basically they do. I am quite shocked that they gave us this lot to play around with. not only basically all the modes are in there. Now, some of the core ones are not in there, but basically they're all there. Basically, they all there. Now, in quick play, which is which is, by the way, that works differently too now. That works differently too. When you open up your screen, it's going to tell you what modes are hot to play. And you're going to scroll through that to just go to quick play, which will have your core settings, your core modes like domination and team deathmatch. Those are the two that they have on there. At least there was yesterday when I was playing it. I have not played much of the other modes. I'm saving it for videos on here and to play with other friends that I'm going to be teaming up with along the way. But I did play Invasion. Now, Invasion to me is a lot of fun. Now, it isn't to some people think it's slow. I don't, because I am a huge fan of Clash. It reminds me a lot of Clash from Warzone. So if you like Clash, you're going to like Invasion. I am very surprised of what they gave us. They gave us a lot. And I'm also, here's a side pro right here. I didn't put this in my pro list, but here's a side pro. They're already working on it. They're already updating it as it goes along. And it's getting better and better. I can already tell. Because I played it a little bit today before I came on, and I can already tell it's even improved from yesterday. So they are updating it slowly. So that's another pro. But anyway, yes, the sure size of this thing is a pro. This is a pro for all of us, so we can experience it. And this is a pro for them, so they can tweak things and stuff before it comes out. So anyway, it's just a pro all the way around. The next pro that I want to get into is the maps. The maps run very well in here. Now, there are those that have a lot of corners. Now, for those of you who do not know, a lot of these maps, and they have said this in several videos and announcement videos that they've put out, they're not putting a lot of bushes and trees in these maps because they want to cut down on camping. Now, I will say this, there are a lot of corners, particularly in one map. I don't know the name of it, but in particularly one map, there is a lot of corners. But you'll have to get used to the corner thing. You'll have to get used to it. But besides that, the way these maps run and how open these maps are, I'm very impressed by these maps. I'm also impressed about how immersive they are. I was playing with my friend Pedro. Again, hi Pedro, if you watch this. I was playing with him last night, and he usually does horror games. Now, he usually does, and he's taken a very long break for Call of Duty. He's Modern Warfare 2. This Modern Warfare 2 is going to be his coming back to the franchise. He's been gone for 5 or 6 years, so he definitely had to get used to it, but he actually enjoyed it, and he made a comment about this game being really pretty. And I will say, the graphics are pretty. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, mine aren't, basically what I would tell you is that if you have the game on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, I'm here to tell you that the graphics will be what they normally are, that you are not going to get that real engine timing anymore. You're just not going to. I will say that's probably why you are having trouble, or you have a lower graphics card. I have a graphics card that's a 4K graphics card, and he was playing it on PlayStation 5. So for us, the graphics were really pretty, and I'm very impressed. And again, the maps were so immersive, and you could see the detail that they put into these maps. I enjoyed these maps thoroughly, and I cannot wait to jump back in. But anyway, that is another pro. Here is one more pro for you. Yes, there are 5 pros and only 3 cons, actually. So we'll see again if that changes. But another pro is the leveling up system. I like the leveling up system. In one day playing it yesterday, I was able to go to a course from level 1 all the way to level 15 in one day. They've made it very easy for you. I have realized something, that between the gunsmith and between the leveling up system, that the way in which they connect and stuff, they've made it easy for you to grind. They have made it easy, and I appreciate Call of Duty doing that. Now again, I am an old timer, so I will say that you might find this a little easy. I found it a little easy, but again, I just enjoy it, because for the first time in a long time, we're not actually having to grind our behinds off to get somewhere in the battle pass, or grinding out guns to get a certain camo. You guys get the picture. The leveling up system is really, really good, and I really appreciate Call of Duty for making this grinding, I think, a little easier. So I am enjoying kicking back and actually relaxing about the grinding. But anyway, those are all the pros. Let's go on to the cons. And one of the cons I will say, and this is my number one con, by the way, is red dots. Call of Duty. I miss red dots on the mini map and on the compass up top. I miss it. Now, for those of you who do not know, you can have an attachment that once you get about 4 kills, you can pop a UAV and it will temporarily show you where people are on the mini map. But in my opinion, this cuts gameplay. In my opinion, because of course it's not forever sweeping, the UAV does go away. But not only that, just having to pop the UAV and having to go through all of that, it to me, it cuts the gameplay. I miss the red dots. I know what Call of Duty is trying to do. They're trying to make it more competitive, and again, they are catering a lot to the casual players and just to have fun gameplay, and I get that. However, I want the red dots back. I really do, and I think, all in all, I actually think that the red dots would help out casual players. I don't know if you are a casual player. Put that down below. I would like your thoughts on having red dots on the mini map, but I think they help, and I really do miss them. And again, I think it does kind of cut into gameplay there. And even if you didn't want to have them permanently over there, have a sweeping UAV. You know, like they have in Warzone, that every now and then you see. I don't know, have a sweeping one. I don't know, a sweeping radar or just something. Just something that, so we can see little red dots every now and then on the map. But anyway, that is one con. Another con is mounting. Now, yes, I did praise the movement a bit ago. And before I go any further, I want to say that I like the mounting. I just want it to be cleaner, because it does give you an opportunity to do different types of gameplay, and I like that. However, sometimes when I'm wanting to just jump, I will mount. And sometimes when I'm wanting to mount, I will just jump. It is not very clean, and I would like for them to clean it up. Now, there is a thing that you can go into your settings and turn it off, but that really doesn't basically, it helps it, but it doesn't get rid of that problem. So I hope that Call of Duty does clean that up. So that is a con. Another con here, and I told you guys we will be getting into it, but sliding. Let's get into sliding. It's not what you think it's going to be. You are thinking that I'm going to say it needs to be back in there, slide canceling. I'm actually not saying that. I have mixed feelings on this. First and foremost, they preached and preached and preached to us. Okay, they preached and preached to us that they were not going to add slide canceling in there. They kept telling us that. They kept telling us that. They kept telling us that. I don't know if you guys know, but there actually is slide canceling in there. Now, it is not clean slide canceling. It is not clean. It does not come naturally, and I will say it bothers the gameplay. In my opinion, if you try to do it along with everything else, because it's not clean slide canceling, it bothers the gameplay. So here is my opinion on it. Just take it out totally and completely, Call of Duty. Take it out totally and completely. If you do not want it in there, then it doesn't need to be in there at all. And if you want this, and I'd rather have no slide canceling than what they're giving us right now as slide canceling, because it's not clean. It's not clean. But if you're like, no, we're going to leave the slide canceling, this little unclean slide canceling in there, then I will argue with you that you need to put slide canceling back in there. Because either way, it cuts the gameplay. One or the other, you need to pick. In my opinion, Call of Duty needs to pick one or the other. And by the way, I highly recommend that you learn to bunny hop. Because as an old timer, and who's having to get used to not slide canceling, because the way you slide cancel in here is very unclean. In my opinion, I did it a few times last night when I was playing with Pedro. Again, hi Pedro. And it was very unnatural, and it did cut my gameplay, and it cut the amount of time I would aim down the sights. My opinion is not to have it in there. If you're saying you're not going to have it in there, then don't have it in there. And if you're going to keep this unclean slide canceling that cuts gameplay, then just put slide canceling back in there. Okay, that's all. That is my opinion on it. That is my opinion on it. But there you go. There are my pros and cons of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are thinking of the beta. I'm actually having a good time, and I'm actually very impressed by it. And again, with the slide canceling, that's just my opinion. Look, Call of Duty, if you do want to keep the little bitty slide cancel that's in there, then at least clean it up. Sorry there, I bopped you there. At least clean it up. But anyway, there you go. Put down again in the comments below what you guys are thinking about the beta so far. All in all, I think I'm having a blast. I feel like Call of Duty is back, and I'm super excited to enter into this new season of Call of Duty, this new era of Call of Duty. And I think we should all be happy about entering into it too. But like, comment, and subscribe. You do not have to, but I would love for you to. And I will see you in the next video, well, that you see me in. Goodbye.